Hello, everybody. Today is the 4th of January, 2024. Hope your New Year's going well. Mine's going pretty good. Thank you very much. Um, the weather's kind of threatening looking today. I see a lot of clouds. It's a little breezy. It's about 42 degrees, so I don't know how long I'll be able to be outside. Maybe not that long. I actually did a little bit of work on Monday the 1st, but it was less than an hour, and I was fighting against pending rain and mist, so I didn't videotape anything. So I'll catch you up on what I did on Monday, and then I'm going to continue on today. The most significant thing I did on Monday was to finish installing my new power steering hoses. Everything is hooked up, everything is tight. Um, I do need to reattack one piece of this right here, this 90-degree angle. I need to push that into the hose further because this is sitting up too high above the intake manifold. So I'm going to get some kind of heat source maybe to put on there to soften up that hose so I can push it in further. So you can see all my connections here, nice and tight. You can see the little adapter that I talked about a number of videos ago that I had to buy to accommodate this new little hose that I think it was Rick. I traded with him through the site to get that, so I appreciate that. I think that was, oh, the other thing was I had to swap out this nipple right there, that connection on the water pump, because the new one that was there was way too big. It was like, I don't know, 3/4 inch or something. It's supposed to be 5/8. Luckily, I had saved the that attachment from my old water pump, so I just swapped that out as well. And the other thing I did was I finally got things kind of set up to start the carburetor rebuild. So I have a space here. It's got raised edges, so it'd be harder to lose small parts as I take this thing apart. And I remove the centerpiece by jamming a couple of nuts together and then twisting it off. I have to get another wing nut. This one doesn't actually fit it. Um, so that's really about it there. And then I've got my rebuild kit over here and little tools for cleaning out the small orifices and so forth. Oh, here's that fitting that I replaced on the water pump. And I'm probably going to be utilizing my new little air thing here, air attachment for my pancake compressor to help me dry my carburetor parts as I work on that. So I think what I'm going to do right now. Oh, I did get a part of my some more Christmas present stuff today too. My friend ordered some things from Rock Auto on my behalf, and part of it came in today. Some hoses, some bulk hoses, vacuum tubing. This is fuel line, and this is a 6-foot length of 5/8 heater hose, which is perfect because I'll use that to connect from the water pump from that fitting that I just showed you on the other side to the back of the intake manifold. I'm not worried about the heater core right now. Just want to get all the open ports closed off so I can actually fill the thing out when I get my radiator. My radiator is supposed to show up today too from JEGS, so we'll see if they manage to get that correct for this car or not. We'll see if their advertising holds true. I also discovered that my mechanic still has my old intake manifold with the original fitting that goes in the back of the intake manifold. So I'm going to go back to the shop in the next couple days and get that fitting so I can replace this and I don't have to use that little hose on the side there to cut it off. It just won't be there at all, that fitting. So what I'm going to do right now is put this hose on the engine, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do after that. Part of it depends on the weather because it's kind of looks like it might precipitate. I'm definitely fighting the weather. I've had a little bit of snow, a little bit of drizzle, and now it stopped again. So I got the hose at least connected. It's tight down there at the water pump, and it's not tight here. I just kind of put it on the fitting there because, like I said, I'm going to replace this square output thing there from the intake manifold. So I just stuck it there to kind of size it so I know where to cut it. I did cut a good foot off, and it's probably still longer than it needs to be. I'm just kind of guesstimating right now, but that's okay. I can cut more off later. I had a viewer strongly caution me about this battery. He said it's not the right battery, and he's got a point. These terminals should not be this close to the firewall. He's concerned that if this thing moves at all, I'm going to have a dead short, the positive touching the car body here, and he raises a very good point. So I don't think Napa is going to take this battery back and exchange it for another one because I've already installed it. So I think what I'm going to try is I'm just going to flip it around so the positive will end up over here and the negative over here. I believe both cables are long enough to stretch. I think the red one will definitely stretch across over here. I'm pretty sure the ground will stretch too. Definitely not the factory original way of doing it, but I do believe it'll work. So I think what I'm going to do now is go inside for a little while because there's some snow falling again right now, or frozen rain or something. So it's supposed to stop in an hour or so. So I'm going to try and do something useful inside. All right, the weather's still kind of unsettled. Sun comes and goes. I'm getting ready to crawl under the car again. So I've got my bumper jack set up here for extra support again. My intention is to remove the cover underneath the accelerator pedal link so I can see where it's disconnected. I don't want to have to try and pull up the carpet from inside the car. I'm hoping I can do this from underneath. There is an access area down there with a couple of tiny little screws that hold this rubber boot in place. I'm hoping that removing that will give me access to hopefully just reattach the accelerator linkage, the other end that goes to the pedal. So I was looking at this, and it looks to me like this is already in as far as it was meant to be, or as far as it used to be. I just realized that this hose is supposed to bend down anyway, like so. And I think there's a clamp or something somewhere that I'm supposed to install in here that'll hold things in place. So I didn't end up trying to push that in further. I did top off the power steering reservoir. I checked the underneath again, and I see no evidence of leaks. So right now she shows full on the dipstick. Of course, that'll change once the engine runs and fills up the steering reservoir and everything else in that system. Um, but while I was talking to my older son on the phone, my radiator showed up, and I unboxed it. Normally, I would have done that on video, but I was too excited to wait. So there it is, and I've got it sitting next to my original radiator, and I'm very pleased to see that it does appear to be correct. I see the correct top mounting plate here that matches pretty closely. It's not a perfect match, but it's very close. Little holes here for where the fan shroud will hook onto. Dot down here at the bottom, again for the fan shroud, matches the old one. The bottom brace here matches the old one. So I'm actually impressed that it's all aluminum. It's amazingly light, all aluminum. And a note on the side of the box that said, make sure you use the green stuff, ethylene glycol. I guess anything else you might use might be corrosive to this aluminum radiator, so I got to go look at my coolant to make sure I already have the right kind. I also need to buy some new clips here to put the bolts in. I noticed that on the back side, the original design had the clips, but on this one, they've actually got threads in here. There's already a threaded hole in here, which is really nice. I don't have to worry about the clips on the back side. That's actually an improvement. And it comes with a new drain pit hock or whatever you call those things already installed. So that's good. I'm actually impressed. I don't think my radiator hoses are going to show up until mid to later next week from Rock Auto. So that'll keep me from filling it up with coolant, but I will be able to install that in the car now. So that's very exciting. I'm going to go look at my coolant that I bought some time ago to make sure it's the right stuff. And of course, I need my glasses. Oh, here they are in my pocket. All right, let's see what we got here. Hope it's the right stuff. It says all vehicles, extended life. I might be feeling this isn't the right stuff. I don't think this is ethylene glycol. I don't think it's the green stuff, but I haven't opened it yet, so I should be able to return it and exchange it. I think I got this from Advanced Auto Parts. I hope. I hope I didn't buy it from some other online source. So anyway, I'm going to study that a little closer, see what kind of coolant that is, because I certainly don't want to use the wrong stuff. It also says to use distilled water. Just doing a little test fitting here to see how this thing looks in here. Looks beautiful. I'm really impressed, especially considering the costs and whatnot. So, and it looks like everything is going to match up perfectly. I just have to get the new clips or some kind of clips put in there to attach these together. Although on the ends here, actually, that's not true. There's already something on the condenser that'll work to put that through. I just need something maybe in the middle there. And on the bottom, I do have to get some kind of clips to hold it on the bottom, except for a couple that are already there on the condenser. There's 3 more that mount to the bottom somehow that I guess that's on the car directly. But overall, it looks beautiful. I'm just very pleased with this. The only thing I'm going to have to jerry-rig maybe a little bit is attaching the fan shroud on the bottom. The top is no problem. The holes are here that need to be here to attach it on the top. But on the bottom, I have to figure out some way, since I don't have the original clips. They didn't come with this replacement shroud that Brian gave me when I was in Kentucky. They would normally be right here on both sides. What I'm probably going to attempt to do, because it's pretty simple and I think it might actually work, is just use some clips like this. Again, a little unorthodox, but I don't know. That's a quick and easy solution. That's all I really need to do is just make sure the shroud stays in place on the bottom. And that will probably work, at least for the time being. So, looking good. What I decided to do with the battery is just about leave it exactly as it was. I'm taking a calculated risk. The only thing I really changed was I rotated the positive terminal a little bit so the insulated part is squarely facing the side of the vehicle, and I made sure that hold down is very tight so that thing is not moving. And I'll just keep an eye on the tightness of the hold down for the time being. I mean, some years down the road, of course, I'll get a different battery that's actually the correct one and face it the other way. Either that or just swap this one around and get longer cables after all, but for the positive side anyway. But for now, I'm taking the calculated risk just to leave it as is. And I appreciate the caution, but I'll just keep a close eye on that to make sure that battery is not moving. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is crawl under the car and see about that accelerator linkage. All right, always new things to learn. So I took this little cover off, and of course that didn't do me any good. And I saw this other little cover that just unscrewed with my fingers. Didn't need any special tools. And there's the connecting point right there. Real obvious like. So, looking at it, I think I just need to get that rod pressed back on there, and then the accelerator pedal will be connected. So I'm going to work on that right now. Of course, I lost one of these tiny little screws taking that off. But I'm not too worried about that. I'll just put another tiny screw on there, I guess. And with a little help from a screwdriver, just snapping it back on. The linkage is now reconnected to the accelerator pedal. So no problem there. I just got to put this little cover back on, which is right here. And it's kind of dirty, so I'm going to scrape off the underside of it a little bit before I put it back on there. You'll just have to pretend you can see what I'm doing. And I've only got two hands, and I need them both right now to clean this off a little bit. Okay. All right, so that's good enough. Now I just gotta, whoops, not me. There we go. Just put this back in place. I don't even remember how I got it off exactly. I mean, okay, it was real simple. Okay, and that's it. I'll make sure in a minute here when I put the camera down, but that was simple. So I just need to find a replacement screw for the one I lost, put that back on, and I'm finally done with the linkage. All right, this is going to wrap this up for today. I should have all day tomorrow if I can stay warm enough anyway to work. I did pull the distributor out. It came out very easily, fortunately. I did mark it too, so I can get it back in the correct orientation. I also just did a little rerouting of some of these hoses here. I didn't like the way they were hitting. And this is direct contact with this. I wrapped some electrical tape around it to keep it from rubbing through. Um, I don't know if it's because of this extra fitting in here that pushes it over that it's rubbing, or if I just don't have something right. I don't know, but it'll do for now. And eventually I'll get the clamp or whatever that holds this down, so that'll hold that out of the way. Man, look at that radiator. Isn't that beautiful? I just can't believe that. I'm so glad I was able to get that at a reasonable price. Remember these? This was the distributor wrench. That came in real handy. I'll just leave that out here for when I put the distributor back. The idea with taking the distributor out is I anticipate wet weather all weekend, Saturday and Sunday, but I also have time, so I'm just putting projects together that I can do in here in the shed. So I already pointed out the carburetor. Here's the distributor. So I'll be replacing that vacuum advance. I guess I'm going to go ahead and just do the Pertronix ignition. I might as well just get it done. And then I'm going to put a new seal here too. That tends to leak. I have all that stuff coming. Should be here tomorrow, some of those things. So I already have the Pertronix, so I can do that anytime. So I have two projects now I can work on in the shed this weekend. Tomorrow, though, I do plan on being outside because it is supposed to be sunny and dry, just cold. So I don't know. I'm probably going to work on the brakes tomorrow. That proportioning valve, I was looking at it earlier. It does have a plug on the end of it. I don't know. You really can't see it too well, but I'll work on that tomorrow. I might take that plug out and play with it and whatnot, see if I can get some fluid flowing through that metering valve, get those brakes going. But anyway, um, didn't do a whole lot today, but I'll tell you what, I'm happy about that radiator. I'll work on starting to get that attached too a good little bit. They finished with the accelerator underneath. There's not too much left underneath the car. I still got to wait for the O-rings for the speedometer cable and the dipstick tube. And I'm also going to leave it up in the air until I figure out the brakes too, since it's a lot easier to work with it like this. But that's all for today. Oh, and I think the antifreeze is okay that I have, the coolant that I have. It does say it's ethylene glycol, even though it may not be green. I'm almost afraid to open it, but I am going to take this inside just to do some more research. But it is ethylene glycol, and that's what the box said that the radiator came in, that I needed to use that. The green stuff, but I don't know what color this is. But anyway, working on that too.